Good day, Math 6 learners! I am teacher Saison Palar, your Math 6 helper. I am here to help you understand your math lesson well. Now let's learn together Mathematics 6, your fantastic subject. So please be ready with your pen, paper, and self-learning module. And let's learn more interesting and exciting lesson today. Our lesson in Mathematics 6 quarter for week 8 is about prediction and outcomes. Our learning competencies in this lesson are the following: to make simple prediction of events based on the results of experiments, and solve routine and unroutine problems involving experimental and theoretical probability. And at the end of the lesson, you are expected to make simple prediction of events based on the results of experiments, solve routine and unroutine problems involving experimental probability, solve routine and unroutine problems involving theoretical probability. But for our first episode, we will focus on simple prediction of events based on the results of experiments. So let's have our warm-up now. I have here a small box with 1 blue ball pen, 3 red ball pens, and 4 black ball pens. We will find the probability of getting the pens. Number 1, blue ball pens. Number 2, red ball pens. Number 3, black ball pens. Okay, what is your answer for number 1, blue ball pens? Number 1 answer is 1/8. Yes, 1/8 because there is only 1 blue ball pen out of 8 total number of ball pens inside the box. That's good. What about for number 2? The answer is 3/8 since there are 3 red ball pens out of 8 ball pens inside the box. Okay, what about for number 3? The answer is 4/8, or that is 1/2 as expressed in lowest term. That's great! All your answers are correct. Congratulations! Oh, it seems you're very excited to learn our lesson today. In lesson 1, prediction and outcomes. You will make simple prediction of events based on the results of experiments. Prediction means making a statement or an opinion on what will happen in the future. Like for example, predicting a weather for the next day. Outcomes are the result or the way that something turns out in the end. In this lesson, we will discuss how to find the probability of an event by doing an experiment, or we are going to find experimental probability. Joy wanted to know the probability of picking a blue marble from a bag that contains 12 red marbles, 8 blue marbles, and 4 yellow marbles by conducting an experiment. She performed the following steps. First, she took 1 marble randomly from the bag without looking inside. Next, she recorded the color and returned the marble in the bag, and then she repeated the process 10 times. The table shows the result of her experiment. How to find experimental probability? To find experimental probability, we need to do the following steps. Step number 1. Identify the number of trials in the experiment. How many trials are there in Joy's experiment? Yes, exactly, there are 10 trials. Step number 2. Count the number of times a blue marble was picked. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 blue marbles. Step number 3. Use the formula in finding the experimental probability. Experimental probability of blue marble is equal to number of times favorable outcomes occur over the number of trials in the experiment. The last step to do is simplify. We need to simplify 4 over 10 by dividing both 4 and 10 by their GCF, which is number 2. 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2, and 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. So P blue marble is equal to 2 over 5. It means that in every 5 trials, there are 2 blue marbles that can be picked from the bag even without looking inside it. We will answer example number 2 by following the given steps. Step number 1. Identify the number of trials in the experiment. The answer is 10. 10 trials in the experiment. Step number 2. Count the number of trials a red marble was picked. That is 5. Step number 3. Use the formula in finding the experimental probability. Experimental probability of red marble is equal to the number of times favorable outcomes occur over the number of trials in the experiment. So P red marble is equal to 5 over 10. The last step, simplify. Divide both 5 and 10 by their GCF, which is 5. 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1. 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. So P red marble is equal to 1 over 2. So the probability of picking red marble is 1 over 2. How to find experimental probability? To find experimental probability, we need to do the following steps. First step, identify the number of trials in the experiment. Second step, count the number of times of an event of an object. Third step, use the formula in finding the experimental probability. Experimental probability equals the number of times favorable outcomes occur over the number of trials in the experiment. The last step to do is simplify. What you need to do is make predictions based on the results of its experiment. Students were surveyed about the number of books inside their bag. The table shows the results. Write its experimental probability as a fraction in lowest term. Number of books, 5 or more. Number of pupils, 24. 2 to 3 books, 7 pupils. 1 book, 5 pupils. 0, 6 pupils. A total of 42 pupils in all. Find the probability that a pupil has. Number 1. Pupil has 1 book. What is your answer? Timer starts now. Time is up. The answer is 5 over 42. Number 2. Pupils have 2 to 3 books. What is your answer? Timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is 7 over 42, or that is 1 over 6 in lowest term. Let's proceed to number 3. Pupils having 5 or more books. What is your answer? Timer starts. Time is up. The answer is 24 over 42, or that is 4 over 7 in lowest term. Number 4. Pupil with no book. What is your answer? Timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is 6 over 42, or that is 1 over 7 in lowest terms. Congratulations, math learners! You made a great performance today. If you still need some training about the lesson, the DEPED Commons and the DEPED TV official YouTube channel are there with your self-learning module to develop more your mathematical skills. That's it for today, but I'll be back for our next episode, solving routine and non-routine problems involving experimental probability. Again, this is Teacher Estrella Saison Palar, your Math 6 helper, saying to you, Math is fun if you understand. Thank you and God bless everyone.